Now, yesterday I speculated about the Keystone Pipeline and some of the reasons why Obama doesn't want to build it. And I said, it's not just the environmentalists. I would bet a week's pay that the Saudis paid for Obama's education at Harvard. He's over there bowing to them all the time. And we don't, he's managed to seal all of the records so nobody knows. And professional talk show host caller Chucky called up with his usual, oh, really? Well, where did you get that? What are your sources? Can you cite your sources? You just pulled that right out of your butt. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay, well, that leads us, ladies and gentlemen, directly to our Barack Hussein Obama Heads Up. All right, so let's get into the Wayback Machine here, Mr. Peabody, and go back to September 23rd, 2008. This is Ken Timmerman, who wrote the scathing expose, Year of the Rat, that exposed the Chinese connections to the Clinton administration, and he's been the author of a number of other best-selling books. He wrote this article back on September 23rd, 2008. How exactly did Barack Obama pay for his Harvard Law School education? The way the Obama campaign has answered the question was simply hard work and student loans. But new questions have been raised about Obama's student loans and Obama's ties to a radical Muslim activist who reportedly was raising money for Obama's Harvard studies during the years 1988 to 1991. Now, the allegations first surfaced in late March when former Manhattan Borough President Percy Sutton told a New York cable channel that a former business partner who was, quote, raising money, unquote, for Obama had approached him in 1988. This shows you how long this guy has been in training, doesn't it? To help Obama get into Harvard Law School. In the interview, Sutton says he first heard of Obama about 20 years ago from Khalid al-Mansour, a black Muslim and black nationalist who was a, quote unquote, mentor to the founders of the Black Panther Party at the time the party was founded in the early 1960s. Sutton described al-Mansour as advisor to one of the world's richest men, Saudi Prince Alawid bin Talal. Here's the audio.
After preaching gloom and doom.
Oh, no, that's not. Hold on a second. Have I lost the audio? I hate this.
I was introduced to him.
There it is.
By a friend who was raising money for him. The friend's name is Dr. Khalid al-Mansour from Texas. He is the principal advisor to one of the world's richest men. He told me about Obama. He wrote to me about him. And his introduction was, there's a young man that has applied to Harvard. I know that you have a few friends left there because you used to go up there to speak. Would you please write a letter in support of him? That's because before Obama decided to run. And he interjected the advice that Obama had passed the requirements, had taken and passed the requirements necessary to get into Harvard and become the president of the Law Review. That's before he ever ran for anything. And I wrote a letter in support of him to my friends at Harvard, saying to them, I thought there was a genius that was going to be available. And I certainly hoped they would treat him kindly.
And this is before the world knew of Barack Obama.
That's right.
Okay, so there's the audio. Prince Alawid, by the way, catapulted to fame in the United States after the September 11 attacks when Rudy Giuliani refused his $10 million check to help rebuild Manhattan because the Saudi prince hinted publicly that America's pro-Israel policies were to blame for the attacks. Of course, then again, in rebuilding, it was $95 million in cost overruns for the Union. So 10 mil wouldn't have been that much help anyway. Now, Sutton knew Mr. al-Mansour very well, since the two men have been in business together and served on several corporate boards. As Sutton remembered, al-Mansour was raising money for Obama's education and seeking recommendations for him to attend Harvard Law. Okay, now, here comes the denials. Because now remember, this is 2008. This is September of 2008, right before the election. And so here comes Ben LaBolt, Obama's spokesman, who tells Newsmax that Sutton's account was bogus and a fabrication that has been retracted by a spokesman for the Sutton family. Interesting, not Sutton himself, but a spokesman. He referred Newsmax to a pro-Obama blog that was published on Politico by Politico reporter Ben Smith. In a September 3rd blog entry, Smith wrote that, quote, a spokesman for Sutton's family, Kevin Warderly, said that Sutton had been mistaken when he made those comments about Obama and Khalid al-Mansour. Smith suggested the retraction put the Obama al-Mansour story to rest for good, quote unquote. Nothing to see here, folks. On your way, go home. Warderly told Smith that the information that Mr. Sutton imported, his words, on March 25th in the New York One News interview you just heard regarding the connection of Barack Obama is inaccurate. At best, as our family and chairman's closest friends can tell, Mr. Sutton, who is now 86 years of age, misspoke in describing certain details and events in that television interview. Okay, translation, don't pay any attention to Percy because he's senile. Asked which parts of Mr. Sutton's statements were a fabrication, Obama spokesman Ben LaBolt said all of it. Al-Mansour doesn't know Obama. By the way, that's not true because Al-Mansour, during the campaign, said he was going to distance himself from Obama because he felt that his association with Obama would hurt Obama in the campaign. So we have those quotes, so we know that that's a lie right there. Anyway, Al-Mansour doesn't know Obama, and Sutton's spokesman retracted the story. The letter to Harvard, which Percy Sutton says he wrote on behalf of Obama, the payments for loans, all of it. It's not true, he said. That's Ben LaBolt. Newsmax then contacted the Sutton family. But, they categorically denied Warderly's claims to Smith and Politico. So there was no retraction of Sutton's original interview, during which he revealed that Khalid al-Mansour was, quote-unquote, raising money for Obama, and had asked Sutton to write a letter of recommendation for Obama to help him get accepted at Harvard Law School. So this so-called retraction apparently never happened. Sutton's personal assistant told Newsmax that neither Mr. Sutton nor his family had ever heard of Kevin Warderly. Who is this person? Asked Karen Malone. When told that he portrayed himself as a spokesman of the family, Malone told Newsmax, well, he's not. Now, according to a 2006 New York Magazine profile, Warderly is part of the new guard in Harlem politics that's been challenging the lions of the old guard, Charles Rangel and Percy Sutton. So that makes him an unlikely candidate to be speaking on behalf of Sutton. Now, Sutton maintains an office, or did at the time, in Manhattan. It's the headquarters of a firm that he founded, Inner City Broadcasting Corporation, which owns WBLS, that's an FM station, and WLIB, which is an AMer. Sutton's son, Pierre Pepe, runs the corporation along with his daughter, Keisha Sutton James. Malone told Newsmax that she had consulted with Sutton's family members at the station and confirmed that no one knew Warderly or had authorized him to speak on behalf of the family. So this response was a complete lie. It was a total fabrication designed to put to rest any indication that maybe the Saudis might have indirectly or directly paid for Obama's Harvard education. And it was interesting how quickly they managed to gin this thing up. Now, for somebody who claims to be a spokesman for the Sutton family, who was authorized to call Mr. Sutton a liar, Mr. Warderly even got Percy Sutton's age wrong. He wasn't 86, he was 88. Warderly responded to several Newsmax phone messages and emails with a terse one-line comment, maintaining his statement that Percy Sutton misspoke. He said, "I believe the statement speaks for itself, and the Sutton family and I have nothing further to say on the subject." Asked to explain why it was that no one at Inner City Broadcasting Company had ever even heard of him or accepted him as a family spokesman, Warderly then tap-danced around a little bit and responded I'd been retained by a nephew of the elder Sutton who is in our office almost every week. Okay, so now we've got a new character here. Warderly works for Bill Lynch Associates, a Harlem political consulting firm. The nephew, Chuck Sutton, no longer works with the elder Sutton at Inner City Broadcasting, but for some high-tech startup. Now, Percy Sutton doesn't go out idly on television saying things he doesn't mean, said one well-connected black entrepreneur who knows Sutton intimately. Ben LaBolt's claim that Al Mansour doesn't know Obama was contradicted by Al Mansour himself in an extended interview with Newsmax. I'm not going to read you the interview just in the interest of time. You can look this up if you want yourself. Now, at the time, Harvard cost around $25,000 a year or $75,000 for 3 years that Obama attended. Now, as the president of Harvard Law School, he got no money for that. And that comes from Mike Armani, who is the Harvard spokesman. That's considered a volunteer position, so there's no salary or grant associated with that. So if the figures cited by the Obama campaign for the senator's student loans are accurate, that means that Obama had to come up with at least $32,000 over 3 years from sources other than loans to pay for tuition, room, and board. Where did he find the money? Did it come from friends of Khalid al-Mansour? And why would a radical Muslim activist with ties to the Saudi royal family be raising money for Barack Obama as far back as 1988? That's the question that the Obama campaign still will not answer. Also, speaking at a campaign event in Haverford, Pennsylvania, in April of 2008, Michelle Obama claimed that her husband had just paid off his loan debt for the Harvard School education. That's 2008. In Zanesville, Ohio, she bemoaned the fact that many American families were strapped with student loans. The only reason we're not in that position is Barack wrote 2 best-selling books, she said. The first of those bestsellers netted a couple of netted the couple $1.2 million in royalties in 2005. Now, in response to Newsmax questions about Obama's college loans, a campaign spokesperson cited a report in the Chicago Sun that claimed that Obama borrowed $42,753 to pay for Harvard Law School and tens of thousands more to pay for undergraduate studies at Columbia. The same report said that Michelle borrowed $40,762 to pay for her years at Harvard. But a Newsmax review of Senator Obama's financial disclosures found no trace of any outstanding college loans going as far back as the year 2000. As a United States Senate candidate, Obama was required to file a financial disclosure form in 2004, detailing his assets, income, consulting contracts, and liabilities. Obama listed 0 under liabilities in 2004. In other words, somebody's lying. Because according to Michelle, he had just paid off his loans. They would have showed up in 2004. Under the Senate ethics rules, he's required to disclose any loan, including credit card debt of $10,000 or more. So the question apparently that Obama asked himself was, what's more dangerous, lying to the federal government or lying to the American people? So apparently he decided to lie to you.